Hello, everyone. Before we begin, I want to ask you a simple question. Have you ever dreamed of speaking English fluently but felt stuck because you had no teacher, no class, or no one to practice with? Have you ever looked at fluent English speakers and wondered how they became so confident? Wayne. If your answer is yes, then this story is for you. Today, I will show you how one ordinary person learned English completely alone and transformed his life. Step by step, you will discover simple methods, powerful habits, and practical techniques that anyone can use. It does not matter where you live, how old you are, or how much English you know right now. What matters is your willingness to learn. Stay with me until the end, because the lessons in this journey could completely change the way you learn English and help you become the confident English speaker you have always wanted to be. Chapter 1. The day I decided to learn alone. Many people think learning English alone is difficult. They believe they need a teacher, a classroom, or a special course. They think they cannot improve without someone guiding them every day. But I want to tell you something. You can learn English by yourself. You can improve every day. You can become confident. You can become fluent. All of this is possible if you follow the right path. Let me tell you a story. A few years ago, there was a young man named Adam. Adam wanted to speak English well. He dreamed of talking to people from different countries. He wanted to watch English movies without subtitles. He wanted to understand books, videos, and conversations. But there was one problem. He did not have a teacher. He did not have money for expensive classes. He felt worried. One day, Adam sat in his room and thought about his situation. He felt frustrated. He wanted to learn, but he did not know where to start. Then he asked himself a simple question. What if I start with what I already have? He had a phone. He had internet access. He had time. Most importantly, he had determination. That day changed everything. Adam decided to become his own teacher. He promised himself that he would practice English every single day. He did not care if progress was slow. He only cared about moving forward. The first thing he did was listen. Every morning, he listened to simple English stories. At first, he understood very little. Many words sounded strange. Many sentences moved too fast. Sometimes he felt confused. But he continued listening. Day after day, he listened to the same stories again and again. Slowly, something amazing happened. Words started becoming familiar. Sentences became easier to understand. His ears began to recognize the language. Listening became part of his daily routine. While eating breakfast, he listened to English. While walking, he listened to English. Before sleeping, he listened to English. He discovered an important secret. You do not need to understand everything. You only need to keep listening. Many learners quit because they do not understand every word. Adam almost made the same mistake, but he realized that children do not understand everything. When they learn their first language, they simply listen again and again. So he kept listening. After a few weeks, Adam decided to start reading. He chose very simple stories. The stories were short and easy. Some people laughed at him. "You are reading children's stories," they said. But Adam did not care. He understood something important. Simple material builds a strong foundation. Every day he read a few pages. Whenever he found a new word, he wrote it in a notebook. He did not try to memorize hundreds of words. He only learned a few new words each day. This made learning easier. Soon his notebook became full of useful vocabulary. Every evening, he reviewed the words. He read them aloud. He made simple sentences with them. This helped him remember them better. One day, Adam learned the word journey. He liked that word. He wrote, "Learning English is a journey." That sentence stayed with him for a long time. As weeks passed, Adam became more confident. He noticed that he could understand more stories. He could recognize more words. He could read faster. Then he decided to practice speaking. This was the part that scared him the most. He had nobody to speak with. At first, he thought this was a problem. Then he found a solution. He started talking to himself. Every morning, he looked in the mirror and spoke English. He said simple things. "Good morning. Today is a beautiful day. I am going to study English." At first, it felt strange. He felt embarrassed even though nobody was watching. But he continued. Each day he spoke a little more. Soon he started describing things around him. "This is my chair. This is my book. My room is clean." The sentences were simple, but they helped him practice. Little by little, speaking became easier. Another thing Adam did was think in English. This was not easy at first. Whenever he thought about something, he automatically used his native language. But he wanted to train his mind, so he started with small thoughts. "I am hungry. I need water. I should study now." These simple thoughts slowly became habits. After some time, he noticed that he was thinking in English more often. He no longer translated every sentence in his head. This made speaking faster and more natural. One evening, Adam sat at his desk and looked at his notebook. He compared his current English with his English from a few months earlier. The difference surprised him. He was not perfect. He still made mistakes. He still forgot words. But he was improving. That realization gave him motivation. Many learners focus on what they cannot do. Adam started focusing on what he could do. This changed his mindset. Instead of saying, "My English is bad," he said, "My English is getting better." Instead of saying, "I cannot speak English," he said, "I am learning to speak English." These small changes made a big difference. Learning alone taught Adam something valuable. Success does not come from studying for 10 hours in one day. Success comes from practicing a little every day. 10 minutes every day is better than 2 hours once a week. Consistency is powerful. As the months passed, Adam continued learning. He listened. He read. He spoke. He thought in English. Most importantly, he never stopped. And that is the lesson of today's chapter. If you want to master English alone, start where you are. Use what you have. Do not wait for perfect conditions. Do not wait for the perfect teacher or the perfect course. Start today. Listen to English. Read simple stories. Learn a few words. Speak to yourself. Think in English. Take one small step every day. Remember, every fluent speaker was once a beginner. Every confident speaker once felt nervous. Every success story started with a single decision. Adam's journey started with one decision. Your journey can start today. Chapter 2. Building your English routine. Many people start learning English with excitement. They watch videos. They learn new words. They practice speaking. But after a few days, they stop. Why does this happen? The answer is simple. They depend on motivation. Motivation is wonderful, but motivation does not stay forever. Some days you feel excited. Other days you feel tired. Some days you want to study. Other days you want to rest. Adam understood this. He realized that successful learners do not study only when they feel motivated. They study because it is part of their daily routine. So Adam decided to create a simple plan. He did not make a complicated schedule. He did not try to study 10 hours every day. Instead, he focused on small daily habits. Every morning, after waking up, he listened to English for 15 minutes. Every afternoon, he read a few pages from an English story. Every evening, he practiced speaking for 10 minutes. The routine was simple. Because it was simple, it was easy to follow. Many learners make a mistake. They create huge study plans. They promise to learn 50 new words every day. They promise to study for 5 hours daily. For a few days, everything goes well. Then they become tired. Soon they quit. Adam wanted something different. He wanted a routine he could follow for months. So he started small. One morning, he woke up feeling tired. He did not want to study. Normally, he would have skipped practice. But because he had a routine, he listened to English anyway. He listened for 15 minutes. The next day, he felt better. Again, he followed his routine. Slowly, the routine became a habit. A habit is powerful. When something becomes a habit, you do not need to force yourself. You simply do it. Think about brushing your teeth. You do not wake up every morning and ask yourself if you should brush your teeth. You simply do it. Adam wanted English to become like that. He wanted studying English to become a natural part of his day. As weeks passed, he noticed something amazing. His English was improving without him feeling stressed. Every day he learned a little. Every day he became stronger. One afternoon, Adam learned another important lesson. Pete Payson. He was reading an English story when he found many difficult words. At first, he felt frustrated. He wanted to understand everything. Then he remembered something. Understanding every word is not necessary. When reading, focus on understanding the main idea. This changed everything. Everything. Instead of stopping at every unknown word, he continued reading. Many times, he guessed the meaning from the context. Often, his guesses were correct. This helped him read faster and enjoy the story. More. Learning became fun again. Another part of Adam's routine was keeping an English notebook. Every day, he wrote something. Sometimes he wrote about his day. Sometimes he wrote about his dreams. Sometimes he wrote about things he learned. One evening he wrote, "Today I listened to an English story. I understood more than yesterday. I am improving." The sentence was simple, but it made him feel proud. When he looked back at older pages, he could see his progress. His sentences became longer. His vocabulary became richer. His confidence became stronger. The notebook became proof of his improvement. Many learners feel like they are not improving because they do not track their progress. Adam learned that progress is easier to see when you write it down. Another habit Adam developed was reviewing old material. Many learners only focus on learning new things. They learn new words today, more new words tomorrow, even more new words the next day. Soon they forget most of them. Adam did something different. Every weekend, he reviewed everything he learned during the week. He read old notes. He reviewed vocabulary. He listened to old recordings. This helped him remember information for a longer time. Review became one of the most important parts of his routine. One day, Adam learned 10 new words. A week later, he still remembered them. Why? Because he reviewed them. Reviewing is like watering a plant. Without water, the plant dies. Without review, knowledge disappears. As time passed, Adam also learned the importance of balance. He did not spend all his time studying grammar. He did not spend all his time reading. He did not spend all his time listening. Instead, he practiced all 4 skills: listening, speaking, reading, writing. Each skill helped the others. Listening improved his pronunciation. Reading improved his vocabulary. Writing improved his grammar. Speaking improved his confidence. Together, they created a strong foundation. Another thing Adam learned was the value of patience. Sometimes he felt stuck. Sometimes he felt like he was not improving. During those moments, he wanted faster results. But then he remembered something. A tree does not grow overnight. It grows little by little. Language learning works the same way. You may not notice progress every day. But if you keep practicing, the progress will come. One evening, Adam listened to an English video he had watched 3 months earlier. Something surprising happened. This time, he understood almost everything. He smiled. 3 months ago, the video seemed impossible. Now, it felt easy. That moment reminded him why patience matters. Improvement is often invisible until one day you suddenly notice it. By the end of the month, Adam's routine had become part of his life. He no longer asked himself if he should study. He simply followed his habits. Listen, read, write, speak, review, repeat, day after day, week after week, month after month. That is how real progress happens. Many people search for secret methods. They search for shortcuts. They search for magic tricks. But Adam discovered the truth. A simple routine followed. Every day is more powerful than a perfect plan, followed once in a while. So if you want to master English alone, create a routine. Keep it simple. Make it realistic. Practice every day. Trust the process. And remember, Small daily actions create big results over time. Adam's English was improving because he showed up every day. You can do the same. Your future fluent self is built by the habits you create today. Chapter 3. Speaking English without fear. Many English learners face the same challenge, that they know words. They understand grammar. They can read books and watch videos. But when it is time to speak, they become nervous. Their minds suddenly become empty. Simple words disappear. Confidence disappears. Adam experienced this too. One day, he decided to test himself. He looked in the mirror and tried to speak English for 1 minute. It sounded harder than he expected. He stopped many times. He forgot words. He repeated the same sentences. After 1 minute, he felt disappointed. He thought, maybe I am not good at speaking. But then he remembered an important lesson. Every skill improves with practice. Nobody becomes a great speaker in 1 day. So instead of giving up, Adam decided to practice speaking every day. He started with simple topics. He talked about his room. He talked about his family. He talked about his favorite food. The goal was not perfection. The goal was practice. Every morning, he spent 10 minutes speaking English out loud. Sometimes he spoke while walking. Sometimes he spoke while sitting at his desk. Sometimes he spoke in front of a mirror. The more he practiced, the easier it became. One day, Adam discovered something interesting. When he spoke slowly, he made fewer mistakes. Before, he tried to speak too fast. He wanted to sound fluent immediately, but speaking quickly made him nervous. Now he spoke slowly and clearly. This gave his brain time to think. His sentences became better. His confidence grew. Many learners think fluency means speaking very fast, but real fluency means expressing your ideas clearly. Speed comes later. Clarity comes first. Adam learned another useful technique. He started describing everything around him in English. When he entered the kitchen, he said, "I am making tea. The water is hot. The cup is on the table." When he walked outside, he said, "The sky is blue. The weather is nice. I can see people walking." These simple exercises train his mind to think and speak in English. At first, the sentences were short, but slowly they became longer. His speaking ability improved naturally. Another challenge appeared a few weeks later. Adam realized that he often worried about making mistakes. Every time he spoke, he asked himself, "Is this grammar correct? Am I using the right word? Will people laugh at me?" These thoughts made speaking difficult. Then one day he listened to an interview with a successful language learner. The person said something powerful. Do not focus on speaking perfectly. Focus on communicating. Adam thought about those words. They changed his perspective. Communication became his goal. Perfection stopped being his goal. This made speaking much easier. Now, when he forgot a word, he used different words. When he made a grammar mistake, he continued speaking. He stopped interrupting himself. As a result, his conversations became smoother. One evening, Adam decided to record his voice. At first, he felt uncomfortable. Listening to his own voice felt strange, but he knew it could help him improve. He recorded himself talking about his day for 2 minutes. Then he listened carefully. He noticed several mistakes. He also noticed some words that were difficult to pronounce. Instead of feeling discouraged, he felt excited. Now he knew exactly what to improve. Recording became a regular habit. Every week he recorded himself speaking. Then he listened to the recordings. Over time, he could hear his improvement. His pronunciation became clearer. His sentences became longer. His confidence became stronger. The recordings became proof of his progress. Another thing Adam learned was the importance of repetition. Many learners avoid repeating the same topics. They think repetition is boring. Adam discovered the opposite. Every time he talked about a familiar topic, he became more comfortable. He used words more naturally. He spoke more smoothly. For example, he talked about his family many times. At first, it was difficult. Later, it became easy. The same thing happened with other topics. Practice turned difficulty into confidence. One weekend, Adam challenged himself. He decided to speak only English for 1 hour. He was alone, so nobody could judge him. During that hour, he described everything he did. He thought in English. He spoke in English. He even talked to himself in English. At the end of the hour, he felt proud. It was not perfect, but it was progress. The following week, he repeated the challenge. This time, it felt easier. Gradually, English became more natural. Adam also learned that confidence comes from action. Many learners wait until they feel confident before speaking. But confidence does not work that way. You become confident by speaking. Every time you practice, confidence grows a little more. Every sentence you speak is a step forward. Every mistake teaches you something valuable. Every practice session makes you stronger. Months passed. One day, Adam looked back at his first voice recording. He listened carefully. The difference amazed him. His old recording sounded hesitant. His new recording sounded much more confident. The improvement was clear, yet he realized something important. The improvement did not happen overnight. It happened because of daily practice, 10 minutes here, 15 minutes there, small efforts repeated again and again. That is how speaking skills grow. Many people dream about speaking English fluently. But dreams alone are not enough. Action is what creates results. Adam learned that speaking is not something you study. Speaking is something you do. The more you do it, the better you become. So if you want to master English alone, start speaking today. Speak to yourself. Speak in front of a mirror. Describe your surroundings. Record your voice. Think in English. Do not worry about perfection. Do not fear mistakes. Mistakes are signs that you are learning. Remember, every fluent speaker once struggled to form simple sentences. Every confident speaker once felt nervous. The difference is that they kept practicing. Adam kept practicing. And because he kept practicing, he became better every day. You can do the same. Start speaking today and let your confidence grow one sentence at a time. Chapter 4. learning new words and remembering them. One day, he opened an English article online. As he started reading, he noticed many unfamiliar words. Some words appeared again and again. Some words appeared only once. At first, Adam felt overwhelmed. There were so many new words. He wondered how he could remember them all. Then he made an important discovery. He did not need to learn every word. He only needed to learn useful words. This changed everything. Instead of writing down every unknown word, he focused on words he saw often. If a word appeared many times in stories, videos, and conversations, he added it to his notebook. If a word was very rare or unusual, he ignored it for now. This made learning easier. Every day, Adam chose 5 new words. Only 5. Some learners try to memorize 50 words a day. The problem is that most of those words are forgotten quickly. Adam preferred a slower approach. 5 words each day were enough. He wrote each word in his notebook. Then he wrote the meaning. After that, he created a simple sentence using the word. For example, one day he learned the word successful. He wrote successful, meaning achieving a goal. Sentence, she is a successful teacher. Creating sentences helped him understand the word better. It also helped him remember how to use it. Soon, his notebook became one of his favorite learning tools. Every evening, he reviewed the words he had learned. He read them aloud. He repeated the sentences. He tried creating new examples. This simple habit helped move words into his memory. One afternoon, Adam learned another valuable lesson. Memorizing a word once is not enough. You must meet the word many times. Think about meeting a new person. You do not remember everything about them after one meeting. But if you meet them again and again, you begin to know them well. Words work the same way. The more often you see a word, the stronger it becomes in your memory. After learning this, Adam stopped worrying when he forgot a word. Instead, he simply reviewed it again. He understood that forgetting is part of learning. Every time he reviewed a forgotten word, it became stronger. This new mindset made learning less stressful. Another thing Adam started doing was learning words from context. Before, he immediately checked the dictionary whenever he saw an unfamiliar word. Now, he tried guessing the meaning first. For example, he read a sentence. The little boy was exhausted after running all day. He did not know the word exhausted, but he understood the rest of the sentence. The boy had been running all day. Maybe exhausted meant very tired. He checked the dictionary. His guess was correct. This method helped him become a stronger reader. It also trained his brain to understand words naturally. Adam discovered another useful trick. He grouped similar words together. For example, when learning words about weather, he learned sunny, cloudy, rainy, windy, stormy. Learning related words together made them easier to remember. Later, he did the same with words about food, travel, school, work, and daily life. His vocabulary grew faster because of this method. One evening, Adam looked around his room. He decided to label objects with English words. He wrote small notes and placed them on different things. Door, window, chair. table, mirror, book. Every time he looked around, he saw English words. Without realizing it, he reviewed vocabulary dozens of times each day. This simple idea worked surprisingly well. Soon he no longer needed the labels. The words had become part of his memory. Another habit Adam developed was using new words immediately. Whenever he learned a new word, he tried to use it that same day. If he learned the word excited, he used it in conversations with himself. I am excited about learning English. If he learned the word important, he used it while writing. Practice is important. Using words actively made them easier to remember. Words that are used often become familiar friends. Words that are never used are quickly forgotten. As the weeks passed, Adam noticed something exciting. His reading became easier. Stories that once seemed difficult now felt simple. Videos became easier to understand. Speaking became smoother. Why? Because vocabulary affects everything. The more words you know, the more English you can understand and use. One day, Adam met another learner online. The learner asked him a question. How many words should I learn every day? Adam smiled. He remembered asking himself the same question. His answer was simple. Learn a few words every day, but learn them well. Quality is more important than quantity. 5 words you remember are better than 50 words you forget. Another important lesson came from reviewing. Every Sunday, Adam spent time reviewing old vocabulary. He read words from previous weeks. He tested himself. He created new sentences. Sometimes he forgot certain words. That was normal. He reviewed them again. Little by little, those words became permanent. Review transformed temporary learning into long-term memory. Months later, Adam opened his first vocabulary notebook. He looked through the pages carefully. There were hundreds of words inside. In a fall, each word represented a small step in his journey. He felt proud, not because he had learned quickly, but because he had stayed consistent. Every word had been learned through patience and repetition. Ow, that is how real vocabulary grows, not through shortcuts, not through magic, but through daily practice. So if you want to master English alone, start building your vocabulary today. Learn useful words. Write them down. Create sentences. Review regularly. Use new words in speaking and writing. Be patient with yourself. Remember, every fluent speaker knows thousands of words. But they learned those words one at a time. Adam learned them one at a time. You can do the same. Each new word is another tool you can use to express yourself. Each new word brings you one step closer to mastering English. Keep learning, keep practicing, and keep moving forward. Chapter 5. Improving your listening skills every day. Adam had built a daily routine. He practiced speaking. He learned new words. He reviewed his notes regularly. His English was improving step by step. But there was one skill that still needed more attention: listening. Many learners focus on grammar and vocabulary. They spend hours reading books and memorizing words. But when they hear native speakers talking, they struggle to understand. Adam experienced this problem too. One day, He watched an English video online. The speaker talked naturally. The words seemed to move very fast. Adam recognized many individual words, but he could not understand the whole message. He felt frustrated. He asked himself, "Why can I understand English when I read it, but not when I hear it?" After some research, he discovered the answer. Listening is a skill. Just like speaking, reading, and writing, listening must be practiced regularly. So Adam decided to improve his listening ability. He started with simple materials. Instead of watching difficult movies, he listened to short English stories for beginners. The stories were clear. The speakers talked slowly. The vocabulary was easy. This made listening less stressful. Every morning, Adam listened to one short story. The first time, he focused on understanding the main idea. The second time, he paid attention to important words. The third time, he listened for details. This simple method helped him understand more each day. Soon he realized something important. You do not need to understand every single word. Many learners believe they must understand everything. When they hear an unfamiliar word, they stop listening. Then they miss the rest of the conversation. Adam learned to keep listening. Even if he missed one word, he continued focusing on the overall message. This made a huge difference. Another habit Adam developed was listening every day. Not once a week, not only when he felt motivated, every single day. Some days he listened for 30 minutes. Other days he listened for 10 minutes. The important thing was consistency. Listening became part of his daily life. While eating breakfast, he listened to English. While cleaning his room, he listened to English. While walking outside, he listened to English. The language slowly became familiar. One afternoon, Adam discovered podcasts. At first, he did not know much about them. Then he found simple English podcasts designed for learners. The episodes were short and interesting. Some talked about daily life. Others talked about travel, food, and hobbies. Adam enjoyed listening because the topics were interesting. This taught him another lesson. Learning becomes easier when you enjoy it. If you enjoy what you are listening to, you are more likely to continue. So Adam started choosing topics he loved. He listened to stories. He listened to interviews. He listened to educational programs. The more interested he was, the more focused he became. Another challenge appeared a few weeks later. Sometimes native speakers connected words together. Instead of hearing separate words, Adam heard one long sound. This confused him. For example, the sentence, "What are you doing?" sounded very different when spoken naturally. At first, he could not recognize it. But after hearing it many times, he began to understand. This experience taught him that listening improves through repetition. The more you hear natural speech, the easier it becomes to understand. One day, Adam tried a new exercise. He listened to a short audio recording. Then he paused and repeated what he heard. At first, it was difficult, but after several attempts, he improved. This exercise helped him focus more carefully. It also improved his pronunciation. Listening and speaking started helping each other. Another useful technique was watching videos with subtitles. Adam watched English videos with English subtitles. He listened to the words while reading them at the same time. This helped him connect pronunciation with spelling. Sometimes, he noticed words he already knew from reading. Now he could recognize them when people spoke. His listening improved faster because of this practice. As the months passed, Adam noticed something exciting. Conversations that once sounded impossible now seemed much easier. He could follow simple discussions. He could understand stories without constantly stopping. His confidence continued to grow. One evening, Adam watched a video he had tried months earlier. The first time he watched it, he understood very little. Now he understood most of it. He smiled. The improvement was obvious. Yet the video had not changed. Adam had changed. His listening skills had become stronger. This reminded him of an important truth. Progress often happens slowly. You may not notice improvement every day, but if you keep practicing, one day you will realize how far you have come. Adam also learned the value of listening to different voices. Some speakers talked slowly, others talked quickly. Some had different accents. At first, this seemed challenging, but it helped him become a better listener. English is spoken all over the world. Different people speak differently. The more voices you hear, the better prepared you become. Another thing Adam learned was patience. Some days listening felt easy. Other days it felt difficult. That was normal. Learning is never a straight line. There are good days and difficult days. What matters is continuing. Every listening session helps, even when it feels challenging. Months later, listening became one of Adam's favorite activities. He no longer listened only to study. He listened because he enjoyed it. Stories entertained him. Podcasts taught him new ideas. Videos helped him learn about the world. English was becoming a natural part of his life, and that is exactly what happens when you practice consistently. So if you want to master English alone, make listening a daily habit. Choose simple materials. Listen regularly. Do not worry about understanding every word. Focus on the main message. Use subtitles when necessary. Listen to topics you enjoy. Be patient with yourself. Remember, every fluent speaker spent countless hours listening to the language. Adam improved because he listened every day. You can do the same. Every story you hear, every podcast you enjoy, and every video you watch brings you one step closer to mastering English. Chapter 6: Reading Your Way to Fluency. Reading. Many people underestimate the power of reading. They think reading is only for students or people who enjoy books, but reading is one of the fastest ways to improve your English. Adam discovered this through experience. One evening, he picked up a simple English story. The story was short. The sentences were easy. The vocabulary was simple. At first, Adam only understood about 70% of it. But he continued reading. He did not stop at every unknown word. He focused on understanding the story. When he finished reading, he felt proud. For the first time, he had completed an English story by himself. It was a small victory, but small victories matter. They build confidence. The next day, Adam read another story, then another, then another. Soon reading became part of his daily routine. Every evening, he spent 20 minutes reading English. Sometimes he read stories. Sometimes he read articles. Sometimes he read short books designed for learners. The important thing was consistency. One day, Adam noticed something interesting. The words he learned while reading started appearing in videos and conversations. Because he had seen those words many times, he recognized them immediately. This helped his listening skills. It also helped his speaking skills. Reading was improving everything. Another lesson Adam learned was choosing the right material. At first, he tried reading difficult books. The result was frustrating. There were too many unknown words. He spent more time looking at the dictionary than enjoying the story. Soon, he realized his mistake. A book that is too difficult can destroy motivation, so he switched to easier materials. This made reading enjoyable again. The stories were simple enough to understand. At the same time, they introduced new vocabulary. This balance was perfect. Adam learned an important rule. Read material that challenges you a little, but not so much that you feel overwhelmed. This rule changed his learning experience. Another thing Adam started doing was reading aloud. Every morning, he read a few paragraphs out loud. This practice helped him in several ways. First, it improved his pronunciation. Second, it improved his speaking confidence. Third, it helped him remember new vocabulary. Reading aloud turned reading into a speaking exercise. It was like practicing two skills at the same time. At first, Adam felt awkward, but after a few weeks, it became natural. His pronunciation became clearer. His speaking became smoother. One afternoon, Adam discovered something even more powerful. He began reading the same story multiple times. The first reading focused on understanding the main idea. The second reading focused on vocabulary. The third reading focused on sentence structure. Each time he read the story, he noticed new details. This simple method helped him learn much faster. Many learners always search for new material. Adam learned that revisiting old material can be equally valuable. Repetition strengthens memory. The more often you see words and sentence patterns, the more familiar they become. As the weeks passed, Adam's reading speed increased. Stories that once took 30 minutes now took 15. His eyes moved more smoothly across the page. He no longer needed to translate every sentence into his native language. Instead, he began understanding English directly. This was a major milestone. It showed that his brain was adapting to the language. Another habit Adam developed was keeping a reading journal. After finishing a story, he wrote a few sentences about it. He answered simple questions. What was the story about? Who were the main characters? What did he learn? This activity helped him practice writing. It also helped him remember what he read. The reading journal quickly became one of his favorite tools. Months later, he could look back and see everything he had read. He could see his progress clearly. Another challenge appeared one day. Adam found a story that seemed difficult. There were many unfamiliar words. The sentences were longer than usual. At first, he wanted to quit. Then, he remembered something important. Growth happens when we face challenges. So he continued, slowly, patiently, one page at a time. By the end of the story, he understood much more than he expected. That experience taught him an important lesson. Do not run away from difficulty. Face it step by step. You may surprise yourself. One evening, Adam visited a bookstore. Months earlier, most English books looked impossible to him. Now things were different. He could read titles. He could understand descriptions. He could even read parts of the books. The progress amazed him. He realized that reading had transformed his English. Not overnight. Not through magic, but through daily effort. Page by page, story by story, word by word. Another benefit of reading was exposure to correct English. Every time Adam read, he saw proper sentence structures. He saw how words were used naturally. He learned grammar without always studying grammar rules. This made his writing stronger. It also made his speaking more natural. The more he read, the more English patterns became familiar. Soon he could create better sentences without thinking too hard. Reading was quietly training his brain every day. Months later, Adam reflected on his journey. He remembered the first simple story he had struggled to understand. Now he was reading much longer texts. His confidence had grown enormously. Reading had opened new doors. It had introduced him to new ideas, new vocabulary, and new ways of expressing himself. Most importantly, it had helped him become a better English learner. So if you want to master English alone, make reading a daily habit. Start with simple materials. Choose topics you enjoy. Read regularly. Read aloud when possible. Do not worry about understanding every word. Focus on enjoying the message. Keep a reading journal. Review stories when necessary. And most importantly, be patient. Every page you read is a step forward. Every story teaches you something new. Every book helps build your confidence. Adam became a stronger English speaker because he became a stronger reader. You can do the same. Open a book. Read a story. Learn something new. And continue moving forward on your journey to mastering English. Chapter 7. The Mindset of a Successful English Learner. We saw how he improved his speaking, listening, reading, and vocabulary. But there was one thing that helped him more than anything else. His mindset. Many people think success in English depends on talent. They believe some people are naturally good at languages. They believe others are not. Adam used to think the same way. When he first started learning English, he often compared himself to others. He watched fluent speakers online. He listened to confident learners. He saw people speaking English effortlessly. Then he looked at himself. He made mistakes. He forgot words. He struggled to form sentences. Sometimes he felt discouraged. He wondered if he would ever become fluent. One evening, while thinking about his progress, he realized something important. Those fluent speakers were not born fluent. They started exactly where he started. They were beginners once. They made mistakes once. They felt nervous once. The only difference was that they kept going. This realization changed everything. From that day forward, Adam stopped comparing himself to others. Instead, he compared himself to the person he was yesterday. If he knew one more word than yesterday, that was progress. If he understood one more sentence than yesterday, that was progress. If he spoke a little more confidently than yesterday, that was progress. This simple change made learning much more enjoyable. Another lesson Adam learned was the importance of believing in himself. Many learners constantly say negative things. My English is terrible. I will never be fluent. I am too old to learn. I am not smart enough. Adam used to think this way. But he realized that negative thoughts only created more fear. So he started changing the way he spoke to himself. Instead of saying, I cannot do this, he said, I am learning. Instead of saying, my English is bad, he said, my English is improving. Instead of saying, I always make mistakes, he said, mistakes help me learn. These simple changes improved his confidence. The words we tell ourselves matter. Positive thinking does not mean pretending everything is easy. It means believing that improvement is possible. Adam also learned that mistakes are not enemies. They are teachers. At the beginning of his journey, he hated making mistakes. Every mistake made him feel embarrassed. Every mistake made him doubt himself. Then he noticed something. Every mistake showed him exactly what he needed to improve. When he used the wrong word, he learned the correct one. When he made a grammar mistake, he remembered the rule better. When he pronounced a word incorrectly, he learned the correct pronunciation. Mistakes became opportunities. This new perspective removed much of his fear. One afternoon, Adam looked through his old notebook. The pages were full of mistakes. Years earlier, those mistakes would have embarrassed him. Now they made him smile. Those mistakes showed how much he had grown. Without them, he would never have improved. Another important lesson was patience. Modern life moves quickly. People want fast results. They want to become fluent in a few weeks. They want instant success. Adam once wanted the same thing. But language learning taught him patience. He learned that real improvement takes time. A tree grows slowly. A strong building is built brick by brick. English fluency develops in the same way. One word at a time. One sentence at a time. One conversation at a time. Patience allowed Adam to enjoy the process instead of constantly worrying about the destination. Another thing that helped Adam was, instead of seeing English as a school subject, he treated it like an adventure. Every new word was something interesting to discover. Every story taught him something new. Every conversation became an opportunity to learn. Curiosity made learning exciting. It transformed study sessions into enjoyable experiences. One day, Adam realized something surprising. English was no longer something he had to study. It had become part of his life. He watched videos in English because he enjoyed them. He read articles in English because they interested him. He listened to podcasts in English because he wanted to learn new ideas. The language had become a tool instead of a challenge. This was one of the biggest signs of progress. Now, another habit that helped Adam was celebrating small victories. Many learners only celebrate big achievements. They wait until they become fluent. They wait until they finish a course. They wait until they reach a major goal. Adam learned to celebrate small successes too. Learning 10 new words, finishing a story, understanding a difficult video, speaking for 5 minutes without stopping. Each success mattered. Each success deserved recognition. These celebrations kept him motivated. Months turned into years. Adam continued learning, not because he had to, but because he enjoyed it. One evening, he remembered the day he decided to learn English alone. He remembered feeling scared. He remembered feeling uncertain. He remembered wondering if success was possible. Now he had his answer. Success was possible. Not because he was special, not because he was unusually talented, but because he stayed consistent. He practiced when he felt motivated. He practiced when he felt tired. He practiced when progress felt slow. He simply kept going. That consistency. As we come to the end of this journey, I want you to remember something important. You do not need perfect grammar to start. You do not need a perfect accent to start. You do not need expensive courses to start. You do not need special talent to start. You only need the willingness to begin. Learn a little every day. Read a little every day. Listen a little every day. Speak a little every day. Write a little every day. Small actions repeated over time create extraordinary results. Remember Adam's journey. He started with simple stories. He started with basic words. He started with short sentences. Step by step, those small efforts became something powerful. They became fluency. The same thing can happen for you. Believe in yourself. Be patient. Stay consistent. Learn from your mistakes. Celebrate your progress. And never stop moving forward. Your English journey is not a race. It is an adventure. Enjoy every step. Keep learning. Keep growing. And keep believing in yourself. If you enjoyed this story and learned something useful, please like this video and subscribe to the English Pulse. Share your favorite lesson from this journey in the comments below. Also, tell us where you are watching from and what your biggest challenge in learning English is. Also, keep practicing every day, keep believing in yourself, and let's continue this English learning journey together